Never ignore these 9 red flag phrases from a woman. There are certain words a woman can say that seem harmless, but behind them lies manipulation, disrespect, or even betrayal. If you don't catch them early, you'll fall into a trap you never saw coming. These 9 red flag phrases aren't just warnings. They're the beginning of your downfall if you ignore them. Let's get into it. 1. You're too sensitive. On the surface, this might sound like casual feedback, but let's not sugarcoat it. It's psychological deflection in its purest form. When a woman says, "You're too sensitive," especially after you express a legitimate concern or emotional boundary, she's not addressing your emotions. She's dismissing them. She's not promoting emotional strength. She's weaponizing shame. Stoic men don't fear emotions. They fear manipulation masked as conversation. In a healthy dynamic, both partners validate each other's emotions without trying to control the narrative. But when she throws this phrase at you, she's doing 2 things: invalidating your experience and shifting the blame onto you. Here's the subtle trick. By calling you too sensitive, she's painting herself as the calm, logical one, and you as the irrational, emotional wreck. Now she has the upper hand. You'll start second-guessing yourself, wondering, am I overreacting? That self-doubt is exactly what she wants to plant in your mind. This is classic gaslighting dressed up as relationship advice. And here's the deeper issue. If you allow her to define what emotions are acceptable, she will dictate the emotional climate of the entire relationship. You'll start suppressing your voice, bottling your truth, and eventually disconnecting from your own instincts. A Stoic man doesn't allow himself to be shamed into silence. He observes the emotional tone behind the words and reacts with clarity, not compliance. When someone devalues your sensitivity, they're not encouraging growth. They're avoiding accountability. Here's what you do instead. Remain calm. Don't try to justify your feelings. Just calmly state your boundary. I don't appreciate being dismissed when I express myself. If we're going to talk, it needs to be respectful. That's how a leader speaks. That's how a man anchored in Stoicism navigates emotional traps. Never allow someone to shame you for caring, especially when your care comes from integrity, not weakness. Because if a woman truly respects you, she'll listen, even if she disagrees. But if her first instinct is to attack your emotional expression, she's showing you her values. And values don't lie. 2. My ex used to do that too. This is one of the most subtle and dangerous red flag phrases a woman can drop. It's not about casual memory or light conversation. It's a loaded statement packed with comparison, projection, and unfinished emotional business. When a woman says this to you, she's not just talking about her past. She's actively bringing that past into your present. She's holding you against a standard set by another man, good or bad, and expecting you to either outshine him or fix what he broke. Think about that. Imagine building something with someone who's mentally still anchored in another relationship. That's like trying to fill a cup with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much effort, affection, or attention you pour into her, it'll never be enough. Why? Because you're not him. And the comparison, whether intentional or subconscious, becomes an invisible third party in your relationship. Now, a Stoic man doesn't compete with ghosts. He doesn't play psychological tug-of-war with memories that don't belong to him. He understands this. If she's not emotionally available, he won't stay emotionally invested. What she's really saying is, I haven't processed what happened before, and now I expect you to either avoid his mistakes or become his opposite. That's emotional baggage being handed to you, and the weight isn't yours to carry. You want a woman who meets you where you are, not someone constantly glancing in the rearview mirror. Here's what you do. Don't respond with jealousy. Don't ask for more information. Simply say, "It sounds like you still have some healing to do. Maybe take time for that." That's it. That's leadership. That's clarity. That's a man who doesn't chase approval. He commands respect. If she's still emotionally entangled with her ex, she doesn't need a boyfriend. She needs a therapist. And you, my brother, are neither. 3. You should know why I'm upset. This phrase is a psychological ambush. It masquerades as emotional vulnerability, but it's actually a form of passive-aggressive manipulation. When a woman says, "You should know why I'm upset," she's testing you. She wants you to play detective, to chase her emotions, decode her silence, and prove your emotional devotion. But here's the truth. Real emotional intimacy starts with clear communication, not guessing games. You're not a mind reader. You're a man, not her emotional servant. A woman who expects you to know exactly what she's thinking without expressing it is emotionally immature. It's a setup designed to make you feel guilty, anxious, or inadequate when you inevitably fail. This behavior often stems from one of two places: control or insecurity. If it's control, she wants power. She wants to see if you'll dance for her attention and validate her sense of importance. If it's insecurity, she doesn't know how to express her needs directly, so she punishes you with distance and silence. In either case, it's toxic. A Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He invites maturity. If a woman is upset and refuses to communicate, the Stoic response is not to beg or apologize preemptively. Instead, you calmly say, "I'd love to understand, but I'm not going to guess. When you're ready to talk, I'm here." That's it. You don't reward childish behavior. You lead with emotional discipline. You set the tone, because here's what happens when you chase that kind of woman. You train her to believe that drama brings results. She'll continue using emotional silence as a weapon because she knows you'll react. But when you remain still, detached but present, she either steps up or walks away. And either outcome is a win for you. So next time you hear, "You should know why I'm upset," remember this. It's not your job to decode anyone's emotions. It's your job to uphold your emotional integrity. Let her come to you as an adult, or not at all. 4. I don't know what I want. This phrase may sound like a soft admission of confusion, but don't be fooled. It's a strategic move, one designed to keep you on standby. When a woman says, "I don't know what I want," she's not uncertain. She's undecided about you. And there's a big difference. Undecided means she's evaluating her options. It means she's emotionally dabbling in connection with you while mentally entertaining other possibilities. And if you stick around during that unsure phase, what you're really doing is agreeing to be her emotional placeholder. Stoic men don't play the waiting game. They don't compete with ambiguity. A woman who doesn't know what she wants is already saying a lot. She doesn't value what you offer enough to commit. That's all you need to hear. Now here's what makes this phrase dangerous. It often lures high-value men into the trap of proving themselves. You'll try harder, be more patient, give more, hoping she'll wake up and choose you. But that mindset is rooted in scarcity, not strength. Let's get one thing straight. You are not here to audition for someone's affection. Your value doesn't increase based on how long you're willing to wait. A Stoic man hears, "I don't know what I want," and responds with clarity, "I know what I want." If you're unsure, take your time alone. Simple, clean, powerful, because your time is currency, your peace is power. Don't spend either on someone who isn't sure if you're enough. If she's confused, let her stay confused, just not in your life. 5. You're lucky to have me. This phrase might sound playful or even charming when said with a smirk, but don't mistake it for harmless flirtation. When a woman repeatedly says, "You're lucky to have me," she's not expressing mutual affection. She's revealing how she views the power dynamic in the relationship, and it's not equal. This phrase is loaded with ego. It's a declaration of superiority, a reminder that she sees herself as the prize and you as the contestant who should feel grateful for her attention. But here's the Stoic truth. A relationship built on hierarchy will always collapse under pressure. When someone constantly reminds you that you're lucky, what they're really doing is chipping away at your sense of value. It's a subtle psychological tactic to make you feel replaceable, to plant the idea that she's doing you a favor by being with you. But here's the reality. You're not lucky to have her. She's not lucky to have you either. You chose each other. That's how mature relationships work. Mutual investment, mutual respect, mutual benefit, not pedestal worship. Now, if she says this once jokingly, fine. But if it becomes a pattern, it's a red flag. Because behind that phrase is entitlement. Entitlement turns into control. Control turns into resentment. And resentment always ends in disaster. Stoic men never tolerate arrogance disguised as confidence. They walk with quiet strength, not loud desperation. So how do you handle this? Simple. When she says, "You're lucky to have me," look her in the eye and respond calmly. "We're lucky to have each other," or it doesn't work. That one sentence sets the record straight. It establishes balance, and it shows her you're not some low-value man seeking approval. You're a man who knows his worth and demands reciprocity, not praise. Because real relationships are partnerships, not hierarchies, and the moment she places herself above you, the dynamic is already broken. Walk with dignity, speak with purpose, and never let anyone make you feel like a beggar at the table of love. 6. You're just insecure. This one is a dagger disguised as feedback. A woman will often use this phrase when she's been called out or confronted on something she knows is disrespectful. Instead of acknowledging your boundary, she flips the script and makes you the problem. "You're just insecure" is the modern woman's way of avoiding accountability. It's her way of saying your concerns aren't valid, your discomfort isn't logical, and I don't need to change. I just need to make you feel weak for having standards. Let that sink in. Now, there's nothing wrong with a man expressing what makes him uncomfortable. If her flirtatious behavior, revealing dress, or male friendships make you uneasy, that doesn't mean you're insecure. It means you have standards. But weak women, women rooted in chaos, hate standards. They want men who bend, not men who lead. So they weaponize shame. And calling you insecure is their favorite weapon. Here's what a Stoic man does. He listens, stays calm, and replies with strength. Try this. "I'm not insecure. I just know what I will and won't tolerate." Say it without emotion. Say it with full certainty. Watch how fast the energy shifts. Because guess what? A secure man isn't afraid to walk away. And that terrifies her more than anything else. Don't justify, don't debate, don't argue. Just stand on your principles like a mountain unmoved by the storm. Because if she can't handle a man with standards, she doesn't deserve a man with substance. 7. Let's just see where this goes. Now this one sounds casual, nonchalant even, like she's open-minded, going with the flow. But don't get it twisted. When a woman says, "Let's just see where this goes," she's not being spontaneous. She's being strategic. This phrase is often used when she wants all the benefits of a relationship, your time, energy, loyalty, validation, without giving you the clarity, exclusivity, or emotional commitment that comes with it. It's a soft rejection wrapped in hope. She's saying, "I'm not fully into you, but I enjoy your attention for now. And here's the kicker. Many good men fall into this trap. They convince themselves, if I'm patient, she'll come around. So they stay. They invest. They suppress their needs. And slowly, they lose self-respect. One silent compromise at a time. Stoic men don't operate in limbo. They don't see where it goes. They decide where it's going, and if someone's not on the same page, they walk away. You have to understand this clearly. When a woman genuinely likes you, she won't be vague. She won't risk losing you to figure things out. She'll claim you with certainty, because strong women don't fumble valuable men. So the next time she says, let's just see where this goes, respond with, I respect that, but I move with intention. If you're not sure, I won't wait around. Say it calm, clear, and direct. Because women test men with ambiguity to see how grounded they are. If you fold and wait for her, she'll lose respect. But if you remain solid and let her go, she may come back, and this time with clarity. Don't be a maybe to someone who isn't sure. Be a hell yes, or walk away in peace. 8. All my exes were crazy. It might sound like a redemptive tale, like she survived a series of toxic men. But beware. If a woman says, all my exes were crazy, what she's really revealing is her inability or unwillingness to take accountability for her past. Because think about it logically, 1 crazy ex, maybe 2, coincidence, but every ex was a monster. That's not a pattern of bad luck. It's a reflection of her choices, her chaos, or both. This statement tells you she plays the victim in every relationship. She's never the problem, it's always the men. And here's where it gets dangerous. When things get rough between you, guess what role you'll play next? Yep, the next crazy ex. She's already rehearsing the story she'll tell about you. Now, Stoic men look for patterns, and a woman who has zero self-awareness of her own role in repeated relationship failures is waving a red flag the size of a stadium. You don't want someone who brings drama into every chapter of her life and blames the authors of her past. You want a woman who's grown, who's taken time to reflect, who says, yeah, we both made mistakes. So when you hear, all my exes were crazy, don't challenge it. Don't ask for details. Just nod and mentally check out, because a woman with no history of peace won't create peace with you. You're not her redemption story. You're a man with a mission. Let her find someone else to write her next tragedy with. 9. If you really loved me, you'd... This one is the most manipulative of all, and it often shows up late in the relationship when emotional ties have already been built. If you really loved me, you'd... is emotional blackmail in its most seductive form. It's her way of turning your love into a weapon against you. The full sentence may sound like this. If you really loved me, you'd cut off your friends. If you really loved me, you'd give me access to your phone. If you really loved me, you'd prove it by doing this one thing. Sounds familiar? The problem isn't the request, it's the framing. She's tying your worth as a partner to your willingness to betray yourself. And once you fall for it, once you prove your love through self-sacrifice, the demands don't stop, they increase. Because she learns that love equals control. A Stoic man never allows love to become a leash. Love should come with understanding, not ultimatums. With trust, not tests. If she needs you to prove love by surrendering your freedom, she's not asking for love. She's asking for obedience. So what do you say when this line comes up? You say, if you really loved me, you wouldn't need to test me like this. Deliver it calm, cool, and assertive. Because real love is given freely. The moment it becomes a transaction, the relationship starts dying. Walk away from anyone who uses love to manipulate. You're not a puppet. You're not a slave to emotion. You are a man of reason, peace, and power. And that, my brother, is how you protect your heart and your mission. These 9 phrases may seem small, but they carry heavy meaning. They're not just words, they're warning signs. A Stoic man doesn't ignore patterns. He recognizes them early, stands firm in his values, and walks away with peace, not pain. If you've heard even one of these lines, drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you're ready to stop being the man who tolerates chaos, hit that subscribe button. This is Behavior Insight, where we don't chase. We observe, we act, and we rise.